This one hits a little closer than the other ones do. Uh, we found out just a little bit ago that David SKAL was suddenly and very tragically killed in a car accident on January 1st of 2024. He was evidently in his car with his partner, sitting at a stoplight at like 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the evening, something like that, sort of in their neighborhood. And another car that was speeding way too fast lost control, jumped the median, and hit them full speed head on. David's partner survived. David did not. The other driver survived as well. If you were to ask anyone in the vampire scholarship community, they would tell you that David was one of the most prominent, the leading voice of film history of Dracula, specifically Todd Browning's Dracula, but also the Universal monster movies and classic cinema, horror and classic cinema. And David wrote numerous books, from Hollywood Gothic to Freaks to There's Something in the Blood, all just incredible volumes. David helped to facilitate the recovery of one of the lost film reels of the Spanish Dracula, the Spanish language version of the Bela Lugosi movie. For those of you who don't know, when Universal was making Dracula back in the 30s, they would shoot with Todd Browning's crew and Bela Lugosi in the cast during the day, and then when they would wrap, a completely different crew and director and cast would come in, and they would shoot all night the exact same scenes, except in Spanish. So it's almost an identical movie, but one of the multiple reels of that film just never really survived until David, through his research, discovered one that was just sitting collecting dust in a movie theater in Cuba, and facilitated its return to be scanned and included back into the original film. So David had he had a profound impact on vampire studies and cinema studies, and I didn't, I guess, know David personally, but I did interview him on this show when I was doing an episode about the 100th anniversary of Nosferatu. And then I used a bunch of outtakes from that for a video that I released about the 125th anniversary of the publication of Dracula. Because just in interviewing David for Nosferatu, we talked for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. And he had all kinds of amazing anecdotes and information about Bram Stoker and just Stoker's life and the creation of the book and everything like that. There was stuff I had just never heard before. And so I was able to take all those outtakes and put them together into a whole separate episode. So the guy just knew so much. And he was also the guy responsible for the Norton critical version of Dracula that is now used in classrooms to teach the book. So it is an understatement to say that David had a profound effect on the study of classic horror movies, and in specific, Dracula. But David was also just a very lovely guy. And I can say that just sort of anecdotally, just because He was very easy to talk to. He was very easy to interview, and clearly very friendly, very very witty as well. But on the night that we found out that David died, I kind of had a conversation with a former classmate of mine from college, um, named Carrie Bible, who was friends with David. They were both deep in the sort of Hollywood golden age revival community. I'm probably getting that totally wrong. They would probably say it was called something else, but Carrie and David were friends. They hung out quite a bit, and she she had so many great things to say about David. And she had him onto her YouTube channel, Hollywood Kitchen, numerous times. And I was just watching an episode of that the other night, and they were basically Carrie brings on a guest, and they make some recipe that is tied into some Hollywood personality from the Golden Age, and this one was Lon Chaney Sr.'s potato biscuits, which I'm not sure I've ever even had a potato biscuit, much less Lon Chaney's. But she had David on for that episode to talk about Lon Chaney. And while they're making biscuits, I learned so much about Lon Chaney's connection to Universal's Dracula and all sorts of stories I'd never known. So, if you are wanting to take a moment to remember David, obviously he has a voluminous amount of books that he's published that are a wonderful way to celebrate him by reading them. But if you want to just listen to him talk about old Hollywood while making potato biscuits, I recommend Carrie's channel, and I'll put a link to that exact episode up here. Uh, this is a this is a very tragic, very sudden loss, and I was thinking about how sad it is that we're not going to get any more David SKAL, and we're not going to all of the things that he had yet to discover and had yet to write about. But we got so much of him through his career. He gave us a lot, and he obviously lived an incredible life, and was a bit of a bit of an Indiana Jones when it came to discovering sort of these lost secrets of Hollywood's darker material. So thank you, David SKAL, for everything that you gave us.